Hey, what's up, my people? How you doing? This is Dalton, and I'm outside. So if you hear some outside noise, you know what happened. You know why it's going on. All right. And I'm up here in Pittsburgh. Well, actually, in East Liberty. Anyway, I want to do a shout out to my homegirl Stephanie, who I lost contact with, and due to YouTube, I was reunited with. You probably see me talking to her under my latest breaking news. Okay. What's up, Stephanie? Also, y'all already know I'm doing a shout out to Jamie Zebra 23. All right. Let me tell you a story. Okay. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you a quick story time. All right. And this story time, let's call it "Welcome to Seattle." All right. Now, when I was younger, I lived in Oklahoma, and after going through the bombing in Oklahoma, and my mom almost died in a bombing in Oklahoma, as well as before that, I lost almost 7 different friends from freak weather that was in Oklahoma and freak accidents. So, and after all I had some really good relationship with women I dated when I was in Oklahoma, but some of them were very dysfunctional. Not all of them, okay. And after all that, I was like, okay. I decided, okay, before I die, I wanted to see more of not the world, but more of the United States. So, seeing that I've already taken a vacation to Seattle, I liked Seattle. So, I decided to move to Seattle. Okay, and this was, I believe, in 1999. All right, so I want you to understand. When I lived in Oklahoma, I was considered what they call progressive. So when my friend who lived in Seattle at that time, uh, I always told her that I was progressive, and she told me she'd prepare myself for culture shock. And I got this. I ain't worried about it. So I end up moving to Seattle. And then when I moved to Seattle, a lot of people weren't happy about it. But when change comes, you can't please everybody. But you have to please yourself. Now, thinking I'm Mr. Progressive and I got all this and I know everything, because when I was in Oklahoma, I used to hang out at a place called Rec Room. Now, Rec Room, if you know anything about Oklahoma, Oklahoma's a very Bible Belt. Okay, Rec Room had was a place where all the artists, okay, hung out, dancers hung out, you know, gay, bi, whatever your sexuality was, you hang out there. Okay, I mean, it was just a great place to hang out. It was a safe place for everybody. Okay, uh, because if you know anything about Oklahoma, if you're not really conservative, okay, then they can make life very hard for you. And I was always, an open-minded person, more facts-based. Didn't want to take a fanatical view on a lot of stuff, so I didn't really fit in that well. Now, when I moved to Seattle, you know, knowing I know everything, right? I moved to this one place off of First. I think it's First and Park. And First and Park or First and Place, I believe it is. Anyway, it was in a small hotel type apartment. This thing was so small that you could walk to your restroom all the way to your front from your restroom to your side window in no time flat. I mean, it was just small. You would thought you were living in Tokyo or something. Anyway, and you had to pay a lot of money for it. Not over amount, but It's still for that small space. But it was kind of cool because it did have a pull-out bed and everything you need. Okay. Um, Now, there was a Walgreens I used to always walk down to. All right. And I would go down there. And then one day, I went down there and I saw this woman, fine as hell, right? I'm new. And I'm like, oh, it's picking up already. I'm feeling my way around. So, and, okay. And I got to admit, she was top heavy. Okay. And, I was like, yummy, So I would go down there, and I was trying to get my guts up. I can be aggressive and bold on certain things, business or whatever, but other things I'm super shy. Okay, so I was trying to get my guts up to go and talk to her. So I went up there, bought some stuff. I always try to get in her line, make a little chit chat. Well, the third time I went up there, I said, okay, today's the day. Okay, I got my guts up. I'm gonna ask her out. I'm gonna talk to her, try to get her number, everything, right? And I'm standing in her line, and I want you to understand, she was a very, she was taller than me, you know, and she always wore these beautiful scarves. Always had her hair together, right? So I got my guts up. I'm ready to rap to her. It took a while for me to build up my guts to talk to her. So, I mean, we're talking weeks and weeks. Okay. So I'm like, okay, today is the day. I'm going to talk to her, try to get her number, get to know her, you know what I'm saying? If she's into me, cool. So I go up there and I'm in her line. And I'm like next to I'm like the second person. There's one in front of me. And this particular day, she's there with a low cut top. Now I can't help but focus on it, right? So it's almost my time. All right, it's almost my time to go up there. And I got my guts up, and I'm ready. All right, and I'm ready to go up there. So I'll walk up there, and it's my turn. But this day is unique. This day, okay, she didn't have her scarf on, and she had the biggest Adam's apple I have ever seen in my life. Okay, bigger than mine, which I knew right there. Okay, this is a guy. So I try to play it cool. I buy my stuff, get out as soon as possible. So I called my friend and I told her, I said, what happened? And she said, honey, I told you you're going to deal with a culture shock. She said, and a lot of the transsexuals, even if they're pre-op or post-op, but the pre-op, which means they still have a man's genital, they still they put a lot of money into turning into a woman, which they literally have real breasts because they take a hormone to get these breasts, and then they get the implants to make them even bigger. So they are real breasts, but so mess my world up, boy. Talk about welcome to Seattle. All right. I was welcome to Seattle. But I overcame, and I lived in Seattle for about 6.5 years. And back then it was a beautiful place. Now, unfortunately, drugs and heroin has taken over big time. Meth in Seattle, and you got tent homes all over the place, even on people's property, and it's sad. You got a lot of homeless, not all due to drugs. It's just it's a high price to live there now. It wasn't that high, and it used to be a very environmental, beautiful, beautiful place. And it's sad to see what it's come to now. But back then, the back then it was a beautiful place, and that is my story time called uh, "Welcome to Seattle." All right, and I ask you to click that red word down there that says subscribe. Subscribe. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Either way, you're cool with me, and I shall rap to you later. Oh, yes, and please comment because I love your comments. Peace out. Stay safe.